Well, the time has come for the album reviewers lists. It seems that most of the album reviewers are doing their lists of their favorite, least favorite albums and EPs of the year. So I'm going to tell you what my worst 5 albums of the year are. 5, we have Fireflight with Now. Um, this album disappointed me a lot because I like Fireflight a lot. I wouldn't say they're very generic, honestly. I mean, they have a few mediocre recycled things every here and there. It's really not that bad. And I saw them in concert last year on one of their tours. I think it was the Overcome tour. That was the name of it. This album is so boring. In all seriousness, like it's just. Think about it this way: you take Fireflight's music, you make it incredibly generic. You put crappy lyrics and you dumb it down with electronic sounds and electronic intros. It's basically what this album was. They've become another generic band that exists in the CCM community, and I can't stand that nowadays. Every band that is popularized in the CCM community becomes crappy and generic. I don't understand this. Number 4, we have Chelsea Grin with the Evolve EP. This album, the vocals are terrible. I'm not going to lie. I like some of the content from Desolation of Eden, and I think that they do their inhales very well. But the vocals on this album, what they sound like the Simpson guy or whatever, everyone's saying that. The music is incredibly generic. Breakdown, 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 herp, derp, derp. Considering the fact that I like Desolation of Eden somewhat, this album was rather disappointing for me. Or this EP, rather. And, the new vocals don't do anything to add to the music at all. The music is just kind of mishmashed, forced, and put together. Just a forced, quick album. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like they took time to consider much of what they did. Number 3, we have Emmure, Slave to the Game. Dear Lord. I didn't know it was possible for a band to use breakdowns as much as Emmure uses breakdowns. This whole album is one big breakdown. Plenty and plenty of breakdown in this entire album. What I cannot stand is bands who go chugga 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 breakdown dun 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 dun. Yes, there's a lot of core music that I like, but that is not the kind of core music that I enjoy. That is not the kind of freaking core music that I enjoy. I like core music that is done well and actually uses entertaining breakdowns. I mean, there's some bands like Gideon who use a lot of breakdowns, but they make their breakdowns unique and entertaining. So, didn't dig this album so much. As you can tell, same boring generic guitar work. They haven't really expanded at all. But I haven't done anything. Number 2, we have Ketchup with Warrior. Why am I putting this album on the list? Because it was a disappointment of some sorts. Actually, I enjoyed some of her content. Despite the fact I knew she wasn't talented, some of her content seemed enjoyable, but they did a stream of the full album for several days on iTunes before it was actually released. So I went and I listened to this thing in Warrior cut in, and I thought it sounded pretty dang cool. The title track, that is. I liked the title track. I liked the title track a lot, and she was still auto-tuned and sounded like she fixed her voice, and considering how I've seen she's sung live, it doesn't sound good. And I was like, hey, she may have some good song composition, even though she still doesn't actually have any technical vocal talent, so she can do songwriting without. I mean, she has talent in songwriting, just not actual singing. That's what I was gonna think, and I thought I might enjoy the sound. But then when Die Young came in, they started back with the old generic "Waste Your Life" with sex lyrics, and they had a lot of crappy satanic imagery in that video. That's something I don't generally see in mainstream music. I see it in underground black metal a lot, but that is not something that I see in mainstream music in the slightest. And I think it's just kind of a fail that they're trying to make themselves look dark when they're truthfully just being idiotic. So yeah, Warriors, a good song in my opinion, and I think they did better with the songwriting there, but rest of it, not so good. Incredibly generic. Now, what's the #1 worst album of the year? You may be thinking, oh, Isaac, is it Veil of Maya with Eclipse? No. Is it the Acacia Strain? No. Is it Winds of Plague? No, Winds of Plague didn't even come out with a dang album this year. They're gonna be, oh, is it some crappy core band? Da 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 da. No. The worst album award of this year goes to tobyMac with Eye on It. This album is a huge, huge step back for tobyMac. Portable Sounds is one of my most favorite albums ever. This album, not so much. It is amazingly generic, and if he had started out generic, then I wouldn't be so critical of him, but dude, this guy started out, I mean, he got good with some of the interesting rap stuff on his older albums, and then in Portable Sounds, he had a variety of instruments, a variety of vocal styles, a huge mismatch of genres that went together very well. It was not forced at all. It was creative, and it was well done. This album took an hour, wrote all the freaking songs, recorded in the studio, and it sounds like he's using autotune too. It sounds like he is fixing his voice for lack of talent now. I could be wrong on autotune, but what the frick happened there? That doesn't make... I don't understand how he could go from being so creative and such an intelligent songwriter, a phenomenal artist, to just being a generic writer that can come up with nothing better than a minor arpeggio. And you know what I noticed? This whole album only seems to use like 1, 2, or 3 at the max scales. What the heck? That's moronic. Considering what this guy's written in the past, this is just dumb. And this thing got #1 on the Billboard charts. The reason is, same reason every other album gets out there. It's just generic, and people don't require more to be entertained. He is now at the level of Kesha and Justin Bieber in my eyes. I hope that he can come up with some creative content in this generic crap. I don't understand what happened to him. I don't understand. I do want to see him at Winter Jam next year, because I know he'll be playing some old content, and then I like Red, so hopefully you can see them too. And I've seen a couple of the artists that have played, so I get to see them again, whatever. But that was my top 5 worst albums, releases, whatever, of this year. Keep it metal and rock on.